You just have to be willing to put yourself out there. And once you do, the magic will begin to happen. I'm happy to use my life as an example so that others can learn. You may have to let some things go before you become successful. Success looks different on everybody, and so does the process. Some of you want success but don't want to let go of the exact thing that's in your way of obtaining success. You can't have it both ways. Welcome to Living Your Truth with Tavares. Wow, thank you. I am living in my blessing. Thank you so much. This is great. Wow. Welcome back to the show. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. How y'all doing? What's up to everybody up top? What's up to everybody in the middle? And what's up to everybody down here around me? How y'all doing today, man? Welcome back. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about pathways to understanding. Pathways to understanding yourself, all right, for better improvement, your personal improvement, and then, of course, the strength to live in your truth. Yes, strength is necessary, and so is understanding your pathways to improving yourself. Personal development, man. Big deal, big deal, big deal. Okay? Radical self honesty. How many of you guys are willing to be very, very self honest with yourself? I mean, like brutally honest, right? Some of y'all may not be, some of y'all may just be getting ready to be in that space. I myself have been on both sides of that space, and it could be tough. It could be tough looking in the mirror, calling yourself out, but necessary nonetheless. Why is it necessary? Well, part of developing and evolving is transformation, doing different things, getting different results, right? Small steps, big results. I'll say it again, small steps, big results. It's about being very patient with yourself, showing yourself grace, and getting into a space where you completely embrace the awkwardness, what may even be considered silly, and effort, the tireless effort that goes into transformation. And as far as wellness goes, the four elements of wellness, where I see it: mind, body, spirit, nutrition. So many people don't understand that this is a huge part of the wellness continuum. Excuse me. So getting into the space is like, yo, you gotta like trust yourself. You gotta have somewhat of an idea and a response, and then of course a plan, right? Because that plan is gonna dictate how you respond to said issue within yourself. Remember, we're talking about pathways to understanding, to build upon, you know, self improvement. Because self development, self improvement, however you want to say it, self awareness, self love, it's all going to contribute to you understanding your pathway to become better. And then, of course, by understanding the pathway to becoming better, that in itself will help you to find the strength to live your truth, because we all know that living your truth is not easy. Many of us are in our heads a lot. All right, get out of there. There's nothing in there right now that's going to help you. So stay out of there. All right. Living your truth, as you guys know, I've been very transparent about that. And, hey, it's not always, a tiptoe through the tulips, It's not always sunny, all right? Sometimes it's a little, gloomy, little gray skies with, you know, partially cloudy, that sort of vibe. And what do we do with that? We get through it. That's what we do. We get through it. Another one of our pathways to understanding is daily reflection and journaling. Okay. We have to embrace the full truth of who we are. And then, of course, our fears, our flaws, and then understand our strengths and, of course, our purpose. And then, of course, all that starts with taking off the masks, Got to take them off. We all have them. Some of us have more than others. Some of us have them designed to a custom fit. Nothing wrong, no harm, no foul, no shade, but we all know when it comes to living our truth, when it comes to improving our personal development, the masks gotta go. They gotta go. Peace out, masks. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, daily reflection and journaling. How many of you guys do that? How many of y'all take the time to make time to journal? Because that in itself is also contributing to your self love, your self awareness, and you being present. That's the cool thing about journaling. I could do more of it myself. I don't do a lot of it. In fact, I probably do more on my phone with the notes memo or the voice memo. So I use those things to do more of my journaling, if you will. But if you like the traditional way of journaling, hey, do your thing. I'm all for it. Nothing wrong with it. I believe it's really about, as I mentioned earlier, just being present with yourself and taking that time, right? Because, when we start to journal, I believe it gives us an opportunity to just reflect, right? And to reflect with intention. How's that? Like that. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. We're going to pay some bills and then we'll be right back. Today's show is brought to you by The Body Synthesis, where we mitigate health risks through preventative medicine coaching. Check out thebodysynthesis.com. Welcome back to the show. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. How y'all doing today? Today we're talking about pathways to understanding so that we can improve our personal development and acquire strength to live our truths. Because you and I both know it takes a lot of what? Strength, commitment, resilience, humility, focus, intention, and all the above to live your truth, but to also improve self improvement. It's not easy, right? A lot of folks don't like trying new things. They could be awkward. They could feel a little out of place, maybe not feel like they belong or should be doing the thing that's going to help them evolve to the newer version of themselves that they are so seeking. A lot of us want things, but we don't know how to go about getting after it. We just say it. That's okay. That gives us the space to develop a plan. All you need to develop a plan is insight, intention, and will, like the will to do it, right? Just having that drive will help you get, beyond. Creating a habit of reflecting on your emotions is healthy. Also, reflecting on your healthy decisions or not so healthy decisions and goals, right? This helps clarify what you really believe in and what you want out of life. How many of y'all out there really know what you want out of life? And look, there's no shade if you don't know. There's really no wrong or right answer, right? I still go through different ideas of what I want out of life. Things, stuff, feelings, experiences, all those things. I think in my, more mature years, I have begun to look at life and think about life in a bit different way, obviously, than when I was 30 and then when I was, in my 20s. And I believe that's a natural progression, right? As we get older, as we mature, like fine wine. Um, so understanding that my self improvement not only is my responsibility, but something that I can be extremely intentional about. I can add all kinds of cool things into that mix so that I'm able to be the better versions of myself and I'm able to express and show those versions by way of what? By way of my hard work, my intention to do the hard work, right? Some of us say that we want to do something and then there's no intention followed up behind it. I think a lot of us that's where things go flat. And I've been a part of that too. I think sometimes I still go flat because I want to do so much, right? My brain, you guys know, I'm a creative, right? I have ADHD. I was diagnosed like just about 2 years and 10 months ago now. Still learning a whole lot about myself, but I've learned to also understand how that disorder helps me. So is it really a disorder or is it just something different about me? I don't know. The jury's still out on that one. And then, of course, the anxiety disorder. And then, of course, the PTSD, right? So I have all these things going on. Meanwhile, I'm still capable and able to be attentive with intention and to even be here to show up for you and myself. So I say this focus on what you want to do, perhaps write it out, right? One of my other mantras visualize, plan, execute. Very simple, 3 steps, right? I'm a visionary. You guys know that. So if you can see it, boom, you got that part. If we can see it, we can do it. So therefore, we do what? We create a plan. Boom, got that part too. And then, of course, if we can visualize, plan, the next one is what? Execute. We can do it. So we can see it, plan it, and then do it. Pretty simple, right? Pretty simple. 3 steps. And you can use that to not only self improve, but you can also use it to give you the strength to live your truth. Look, between you and I and all the other 200 something thousand people listening right now, you're more than capable. Okay? You're more than capable. Don't think too much about it. If you want it, just go for it. Go for it. Take a deep breath and just go for it. And the thing is, you're doing it for yourself. Here's what I can guarantee you. Here is what I can guarantee you. When you do the hard thing and you come out the other side, one, you're going to feel a great sense of pride. That's number one. Two, you're going to feel lighter. You're going to feel very much light. Three, you're going to be like, man, what was I scared of in the first place? That is what makes going through the hard thing such a cool thing. This is Living in Truth with Tavares. Tell somebody. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. Today, we're talking about pathways to understanding, how to improve your personal self development, and then, of course, how to obtain the strength to live your truth. It's been a great conversation, as all of them are. I might be a little biased, but it's all good. Okay, so identify your core values. I'm going to back this up real quick to let everybody know where we've already talked about and gone. Radical self honesty. This is about embracing the full truth of who you are, your fears, your flaws, your strengths, and your purpose. Okay. Daily reflection and journaling. It's very simple. Create a habit of reflecting on your emotions, decisions, and goals. Okay. Daily, by daily, but do it. It's a good look. And then, of course, number three, identify your core values. Define what principles guide your life. When you act in alignment with your values, you find peace and purposes. Hello, I like that. And I said purposes as in plural, as in more than one. It is okay to have more than one purpose. Come on now. Human beings were not created to be sedentary, AKA just sit your ass in one place. No, 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 no. It's okay to align, take a pause, gather oneself. Totally cool, but we ain't talking about that. We're a very dynamic individual, person, organism, if you want to go there with it. And so in defining the principles that guide our lives, when we act in alignment with our values, we find peace and purpose. I love that because it makes sense. At least it does to me. It may or may not make sense to you. I hope it does, of course. But if it doesn't, guess what? You look forward to having something else to learn. Boom. You see how I did that? A lot of us look at those issues like, oh my God, I got to learn something as a setback. It's not a setback. It is a challenge. It is an opportunity for you to level up and be better. See, people think that we are only better when the big deal or the big thing happens. No, we're just as effective when the little thing happens. In fact, when it comes to the thing happening, is there a such thing as a big thing and a small thing? Or is it just about how we perceive it? I'll wait. All right, long enough. Yes, it's about how we perceive it most of the time, right? So it's okay. Trust yourself. Don't talk yourself down and out, but up and in. That's right. And then, of course, healing old wounds. I'm going to say it again, healing old wounds. Some of us walk around with them wounds still open. Some of us walk around with them wounds open so that we leave it up to someone else to try and heal. I mentioned before, we can't find ourselves in other people. We can see ourselves in other people. That's for sure. I'm a huge believer in that. And of course, I've seen people in me. So it's a good look either way, right? Each one teach one. Live, love your neighbor, and see and acknowledge your neighbor as well. So when it comes to healing our old wounds, one, be aware that there are healings or wounds to heal. I like that. Some of us are not aware of the things that hold us back, and there's no harm, no foul there. I think if you're aware and you are actively pursuing ways of, managing, treating, handling, however you want to put that, if you're in the midst of making that happen for yourself, then great. But if you're out here and you know something's, off, and you know it's off, and you just refuse to get help, well, to me, that's just the definition of abuse because you're leaving it to other people to, you know, uh, be accountable for your actions, I guess. So, yes, yes, yes. Healing our old wounds, super, super important. Personal development often requires revisiting and healing past trauma or pain that limits our authenticity today. Been there, done that. Sometimes I'm still there. And yes, does it suck? Absolutely. But I have to show up to that, right? Because I want to get better about managing that. I want to get better about managing those feelings about the past trauma and the pain. That's why I have an EMDR um, therapist. Shout out Dr. Janice Helfin, who helps me out all the time. And then, of course, my psychiatrist, Dr. Khalik, what up? And then, of course, Dr. Mile, general therapist. Look, everybody helps me out It's a great team of doctors. They're all my mentors, and I've learned a lot, and I'm still learning a lot because, well, I'm still growing and evolving and changing every single day, just like you. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. We will be right back. Today's show is brought to you by Tag Management, photography, videography, photo booth, and drone. Be sure to go to tagmgmt.net. Welcome back to the show. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. How y'all doing today? So we be talking about pathways to understanding and improving yourself. And then, of course, acquiring the strength to live your truth. It's been great. I'm going to do a quick recap. Radical self-honesty, embrace the full truth of who you are, your fears, your flaws, your strengths and purpose. Daily reflection and journaling. Create a habit of reflecting on your emotions, decisions, and goals. Love that. Identify your core values. Define what principles guide your life. When you act in alignment with your values, you find peace and purpose. And then, of course, healing old wounds. Personal development often requires revisiting, healing past traumas or pain that limits your authenticity today. Been there, done that, and it's necessary. At least I found it necessary. You may find different. But when it comes to your personal self development, moving onward and upward, what's that investment worth to you? What's it look like to you? Is that something that you've considered? How much does it mean to you to even put time and thought and energy into considering it? See, the level of intention is, it must be, how do you say? I believe it must rise to the occasion, it must rise to the moment, and we have to be available wholeheartedly, right? Can't be afraid. I mean, you can because you can use that fear. So, yes, I stand corrected. You can be afraid. It's okay. In fact, fear is a great place to learn about yourself. It's a great place to gather energy and information, right? That's going to pay it forward for you. It's a real big deal. I like the thought of that. And then, of course, practice boundaries with love. Living your truth means honoring your space, time, and energy, even if others don't understand it at first. Love that one. I was just sharing this with a friend, I believe, like the other day. And I was talking about that thing, managing your energy and not being, made to feel like you're doing the wrong thing by spending time with yourself or by being intentional about spending time with yourself. Look, it could be very difficult, right? I know for some people, they're so used to spending time with other people that when they do it by themselves, they get anxiety or they get real antsy. They don't know what to do with themselves. This is the perfect time to spend some time with yourself right there because you're going to learn that, oh, this isn't so bad. In fact, this is great. I can't wait to do it again. Those were some of my thoughts when it came to spending time by myself. I've even gone to the movies by myself. Now, that was an experience. I had never done it before, but I was in a situation a long time ago in a relationship where things weren't going well. And on this particular day, I think it was a Sunday, um, I had already planned it out the day before. So Saturday evening, I was like, we're going to try this. And it really wasn't about going to the movie. I think it was more about me going to the movie alone, which also, I believe now talking about it, also symbolized me doing something different, right? We talked about this earlier. Um, if we want to change, we have to change the way we do things every day. And you could start with a bite sized step. Like I said before, maybe you get up in the morning, you first drink coffee. Maybe we change that coffee and turn it into water, right? Maybe instead of going to start the coffee maker and then get in the shower, maybe we take a 5 minute meditation and then we get in the shower. So small steps, big results. That's what I had to go through. You won't go through that because I'm saying so, but you're going to have your own experiences. So I love this one. I love the idea of, being in a space where we could practice boundaries, our own boundaries. And look, the boundaries just, they're not for other people, really. They're for us. They're for us to see ourselves and to honor ourselves and to understand, hey, leave some room for you. Leave some room. Some of us don't know how to leave any room for ourselves. We go to work, take care of home, overhead's crazy, and then kaput. There's nothing left. at all. Bleh. We're like blobs on the couch or blobs on the bed. Take time to make time. You are worth it. And this is Living Your Truth with Tavares, and we will be right back.
Hello. Hello. This is for you. Listen, listen, listen.
Welcome back to the show. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. How y'all doing today? We've been talking about pathways to understanding for better self-improvement, and then of course, strength for living your truth. Um, Great conversation. We're gonna hop right on back in. The other one is surround yourself with accountability. A lot of us don't like that, right? I have a one of my buddies. We've recently become each other's accountability partners, and it could be about anything, right? It could be as simple as making sure you're going to the gym, making sure you're getting up at the same time every day. It could be anything that you believe is going to help you be a better version of yourself. Sometimes you got to take those small steps. Sometimes, we got to figure out how we want to incorporate these steps, right? Write it down, get a whiteboard, get a piece of paper and a pen, just so that you can see what it looks like on paper, right? I've done that several times. I still do that because I'm a visual individual. So I got to put it on paper a little bit, maybe sketch it out. Depends on what I'm doing, right? Like when I did our backyard, I made a very simple blueprint, very simple, right? And so, similar approach when it comes to improving myself, being intentional about my personal growth, taking my time with that. All right. Not always. Some things I believe instantly, like, okay, yeah, I could do that. Yeah, we're going to incorporate that. That's necessary. Other things, absolutely. Take a while to think about them, take a while to understand, okay, how am I going to approach this right here? So when I look at it like that, it's very helpful. Uh, Helps me to execute and execute with precision if I can help it, right? Back to that word intention. Um, it can be difficult for people out there to really surround themselves with accountability. Build relationships with people who see the real you and hold you to your highest standard, not your comfort zone. I love that. They hold you to a higher standard, not your comfort zone. How many of us are that friend too? I've been that friend. Instead of holding them to a higher standard, I hold them to, or instead of holding them, yes, to a higher standard, I hold them to their comfort zone. And I believe we've all done that. Does it make us an enabler? I won't tell if you don't. But it does in some ways, and it doesn't in other ways. And I know that a lot of us are just trying to be really, really good friends, right? And be supportive. But there comes a time, and I think a lot of us would agree, where that support teeters on the line of enabling. And we want to be the great friend, but sometimes, hey, look, being a good friend, man, you got to tell your friends the truth. And that's just what it is because I am too living my truth. And so there may or may not be a time where living your truth and your friend living their truth. Well, hey, those two truths may meet at an intersection, and you're gonna have to truth it out. Let's just say that. Um, and look, no harm, no foul. Who's right, who's wrong? Does it really matter about that? I don't know. That's something that you can decide. And of course, I would decide for myself. And then pursue purpose over approval. Let go of people pleasing. Growth blooms when you choose alignment with your soul over applause from the crowd. Love that. Okay. All right. Choose you instead of the applause from the crowd. Some of us need that applause from the crowd. We do. We love being in the spotlight. I've been there. I've wanted the spotlight. I've created the spotlight. I've danced in the spotlight. And I've also left the spotlight to be more organic in my nature, right? To move with more authenticity, more humility, embracing the fears, embracing what some may consider pitfalls, right? And then others consider peaks. I've gotten to a place where I can now embrace it all. Has it always been easy? Hell to the gnaw. It has not. It hasn't. But that's the beauty behind it. Now, obviously, once you get through it. Now, while I was going through it, I couldn't tell you, oh, it was beautiful. It was so enlightening. No, it was uncomfortable and I did not like it. But I kept going. And that's what it is. Just like it's Living Your Truth with Tavares. We'll be right back.
If you love hip hop, if you love hip hop, if you love hip hop, try to keep that in the spotlight.
Welcome back to the show. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. How y'all doing again? Today we've been talking about pathways to understanding, to better what? Self-improvement and strength to live your truth, which can be very trying. So far, we've covered radical self-honesty, embrace the full truth of who you are, your fears, flaws, strength, and purpose, daily reflection and journaling, creating habits of reflecting on our emotions, decisions, and goals, identify your core values, define the principles that guide your life. All right? That's what's up. Align yourself with your values. Healing old wounds, personal development often requires revisiting, healing past traumas. Yes, it'll suck, but it will be necessary and you will gain empowerment by doing so. And then, of course, practice boundaries with love. Living your truth means honoring your space, time, and energy. And that can go for not just me, but everybody else on the planet called Earth. Pursue purpose over approval. Love this one. Love them all, but love this one. Okay? Choose alignment with your soul over applause from the crowd. Woo! Love that. Just kind of do something to you. Love that. Choose alignment with your soul over applause for the crowd. That's going to make a t shirt. And then, of course, the next. Accept that growth is not linear. Growth is not linear. It's just not because you're not linear. There's nothing about life that's linear. It appears that things can be, and some are, in fact. But remember, pursue purpose over approval. Expect setbacks, delays, and emotional waves. Strength comes from rising, not just winning. All right? No whiners. Okay? I don't drink any alcohol, and I'm no whiner. Used to be, no longer. Understand that things are going to happen, things that you're going to say, damn, I wish why this happened. This was a huge monkey wrench in my situation, in my plan. Damn, this really got in the way. This is really a thorn in my side. After we get through all that emotional stuff and we sit for a while, and trust me when I say this, I've sat for a while. However, now in my more mature years, things are starting to click. I think that's one of the cool things about me experiencing life at this particular season of my life. Things are clicking, things are making more sense. And as they make more sense, my decision making gets better. I have been able to curve my reacting versus my response, but I still have a long way to go. Have a long way to go. But the fact that I'm aware of it, see, that's something I never had before. And in order to get to that place, I had to be brutally honest with myself. I had to understand how to gain strength to live with my truth, which still happens every single day. And then when it comes to self improvement, man, look, I feel like every step I take forward, there's like two steps going back. But that's me being in my head so much. And I'm trying to work on that too. So all of these things are going on while trying to be better versions of myself to also bring in more revenue stream into our home and our family, on top of being me as an individual, never mind the things that I have to navigate through, right? Because those are a part of me, and I'm not in a space where I care to make excuses about what's going on. My answer to certain things is just do more or just do better. But that's just me, and I'm working on that too. I'm not really in a space where I want to give myself the out with excuses either. So my mind's always wondering, figuring out, thinking about ways to not only simplify and minimize, but to effectively handle and provide solution to any situation and use my ADHD brain to provide me, those split second quality, oh yeah, answers, or at least the information to those great answers. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. We'll be right back with our final thoughts and our socials.
La di la di da. La di la di da.
Welcome back to the show. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. How y'all doing today? Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It's a lovely day. I want y'all to go out and enjoy yourselves today. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Today we've been talking about pathways to understanding, better ways to, self-improve, and then of course, getting the strength, creating the strength, cultivating the strength to live your truth. We've covered quite a bit today. I really appreciate it. Radical self-honesty, daily reflection and journaling, identify your core values, healing old wounds. Love that. Practice boundaries with love. Surround yourself with accountability. Pursue purpose over approval. Hello. Choose alignment with your soul over applause from the crowd. Accept that growth is not linear. Invest in mental, physical, and spiritual health. True development is holistic. Treat your mind, body, and spirit as one ecosystem. I'm going to say that again. Treat your mind, body, and spirit as one ecosystem. Serve others authentically. There's power in helping others from your truth. It builds courage, trust, and legacy. I always say, love yourself and love each other. And I mean that. I thank you all for always tuning in and supporting Living Your Truth with Tavares. If you want to get a hold of us on socials, we are at Living Your Truth Podcast on Facebook, on Instagram, and on TikTok. If you check us out on X, it is LIV as in Victor, IN as in Nancy, the letter U, the letter R, and the word truth. All right? Hey, I love this right here, right? This was a good show. Hey, I'm doing my boogie dance. You can't see it, but I'm shimmying a little bit. I love what I do here. I love y'all who listen. So, until the next time, love yourself, love each other, and live your truth. Peace.